officially have the first legit ending to Gorod Krovi. There was a group of streamers who illegitimately completed the Easter egg. However, JC Backfire, the JFK Gamer, Kingdom Hops, as well as Edgehead have officially completed the Gorod Krovi Easter egg 100% legit. I want to give a shout out to them for one, allowing me to use this footage right here, and two, just as a congratulations. So links to all of them will be down below. Way to go, guys. I gotta say to JC, I have been calling you a scrub for years now, and I think it's officially time to retire the term scrub, and I will not be referring to you as such anymore. Well done to all of you for completing the Easter egg. For those of you that have not seen the cutscene, here it is, and then what we're going to do is break it down, and I'll give you guys all the little storyline tidbits you need to know. Check it out.
You think you will kill me now? I am sorry, Nikolai. I wish there was another way. But know this, in my heart, I share the same pain as you. The pain that you have buried and blurred beneath an alcohol-fueled haze. Yes, the pain of your own memory. You loved and you lost. Everything else has been delusional fantasy that distance you from painful truth. You know what I speak of. You remember, before the bombs fell, before she was taken from us, some things are forgotten for a reason!
It is done. The souls have been collected, Maxis. We will see you soon.
Admittedly, the ending is a little bit underwhelming. I was hoping for a little bit more pizzazz. I was hoping for a greater revelation at the end, if I may say, but not exactly. All that really happens is that we collect the final soul, Richtofen sends off 3 of the souls, and then Monty contacts the rest of the crew, and he tells them a secret that they are to keep from Richtofen. We're going to have to learn more about it in Revelations, the 4th and final Zombies DLC in Black Ops 3. Let's break this cutscene down beat by beat. At the beginning of the cutscene, Nikolai is consoling with Nikolai 1.0. He's talking about the loss of a loved one. Who this loved one is hard to say for sure. I'm gonna guess one of his wives, but that doesn't really make sense when it comes to Nikolai. Nikolai has had many wives. His love life is long, treacherous, and also a bit bloody. He's been through several wives. He's always talking about first wife, second wife, fourth wife. And this idea that he could lose one of his wives and then be so distraught that he goes down a path of self-loathing and alcoholism is hard to really imagine for his character, but that seems to be the case as Nikolai 2.0 continues to talk about the loss of a loved one. How he lost his loved one is hard to say. We know Nikolai mentioned in his memory trailers that he's only lost one battle. Maybe this was the battle for his wife, or maybe it was his wife who died as a result of a battle. She was just one of the civilian casualties. Or maybe Stalin had something to do with it. We know in Nikolai's original World at War character bio, it says that it was not long before Stalin himself had heard about Nikolai. More importantly, he feared Nikolai. As soon as the war started, our hero was dropped on the front lines and forgotten about, where he wallowed in self-pity and vodka for several years. This may be what Nikolai 2.0 is alluding to when he speaks to Nikolai 1.0. Either way, this is a painful memory but both of them experienced. The difference is, Nikolai 2.0 was able to grow as a person from it, while Nikolai 1.0 went on a self-destructive path with alcohol. After that, Nikolai 1.0 shoots Nikolai 2.0 out of rage, and in self-defense, Nikolai 2.0 kills him with the shotgun. Here's where things start to get super interesting. We hear a voice say, "We will see you soon," and then Richthofen sends off 3 souls into the rift. 3 souls, though. We collected 4 souls. You see Nikolai go up, you see Tank go up, you see Takio go up. But where is Richthofen's soul? And this is the crux of this situation. This is where the mystery lies. Why did Richthofen not send his soul through the portal? Did he never collect his soul? Did we lie about it? Because we're going off his word. He claims he collected his own soul, but in the giant cutscene, we never see him actually collect his own soul. We've always just been basing it off his word, and is Richthofen really somebody we can trust? Not always. So maybe Richthofen lied this whole time. Maybe he didn't send off, or maybe he didn't collect his soul. But then this also makes us wonder about the Shadow Man, because we know the Shadow Man is also in the summoning key. He didn't get accidentally sent through the rift either, so this is a big mystery. Richthofen is hiding something, Richthofen is withholding information, as he always does, of course. And this is going to come up in this final DLC, and this is going to be a big part of it. Is Richthofen now starting to enact his own plan, and are we starting to see his more devious and evil nature take place? Who knows? Once the souls go through the portal, though, we find out that things will be continued, and it will happen in Revelations. Revelations is styled just like the Origins title. You'll notice there are the rocks with concentric circles carved on them, very similar to the Crazy Place. This is probably going to parallel or come full circle to Origins in DLC 4. What happens next is that our characters spawn back into the game, and Dr. Monty reaches out to us, except Monty only speaks to Nikolai, Takio, and Tank. He does not speak to Richthofen. Richthofen cannot hear these voices. Now what this does is present 2 different sides. For the longest time, we had just assumed that Maxis, Monty, and Richthofen were all on the same team. But now that we see that Monty is not reaching out to Richthofen, they're probably on different sides. They might have different goals, and this plays into this idea of maybe an evil Richthofen, or potentially an evil Monty. We know Richthofen has said in this map that Takio is going to hear voices, but he should ignore them.
Long ago, you told me I would hear voices, and that I should trust them.
Yeah, Takeo. You will hear voices. Even ones that will not always speak to me.
Maybe Richthofen is aware that Monty isn't quite on the same team, that Monty is working against them, and we're going to see these 2 forces butt heads in Revelations, most likely. Monty also mentions that Richthofen has been in the house for ages. What he's most likely referring to is Eddie, and we may finally get an explanation of who Eddie is. Could Eddie be a younger Richthofen? Well, depending on your interpretation, that could have just been a confirmation of it. Or maybe he's referring to something different. He also does mention that Richthofen was searching for the proper versions of them to close the universe for several years. This is what we saw in Richthofen's original diary, and this was when Monty stepped in. Monty was the one who gave gave Maxis the information about the Chronorium, and then he passed that information on to Richthofen, who then went and finally found the other characters and the coordinates where they belonged. Monty is the one who was setting things in motion as Richtofen wandered for several years. One of the interesting things is that Monty doesn't seem to fear Richtofen. He said Richtofen's probably off doing his own thing like he always does. And the way he writes it off, it's almost as if like it's just a child. Let him do his thing. He's harmless. He's like a kitten that's been declawed. He can't hurt anyone. And this is interesting. Is Monty underestimating Richtofen? Because Monty thinks Richtofen doesn't know things, but Richtofen claims to know things that others think he doesn't. So, like I said, these two forces are going to be butting heads in Revelations. Both are withholding information from one another, and both are trying to manipulate Tank, Takio, and Nikolai. And who is the good guy is really hard to say right now, and hopefully we can get an answer to that very soon as we continue to explore this map more, interpret quotes, and solve ciphers, and then we can have a better idea going into Revelations. For this reason, I'd recommend you stick around on my channel. I'm going to be continuing to explore this map, and if you enjoyed this video or found it useful or entertaining or interesting, stay tuned for the next couple other videos that I'm going to be uploading over the next few days. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and bye.